Hi guys, I'm the lag doctor Clay Ballard, and today we're going to be going over Tiger Woods' takeaway motion. Now, in the last video we talked about his setup and how to position your body correctly to have a perfect setup. Today we're going to talk about two very simple motions that will allow you to make a perfect takeaway and get rid of all those extra movements. Also, be sure to stick around to the end of this video. I have some great bonuses for you guys and some free stuff. Let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so as I mentioned, there's two basic motions in the takeaway, and just to clarify here, the takeaway is from address until the club's about parallel with the ground. That's what I would classify the takeaway as, and that's where I want to focus in on this video. So motion number one, we're going to be driving the right ankle into the ground. So we're going to feel like we get a little bit of weight shift to the right, and we're going to drive that right ankle down into the ground. Now what this is going to allow you to do is going to allow you to shift a little bit of weight to the right, and to use that to your advantage later in the swing. So if we stay centered and we don't get any kind of weight shift, that's not going to help us to build some power. So if I just draw these lines, this is how you're going to visualize this arrow coming down into the ground through your right ankle. And if I watch Tiger his first couple inches of his takeaway, see how he starts to shift that weight to the right, as I talked about. So if you look at his hip, his left hip, see how it's coming off that line? If you look at the shoulder, it's obviously rotating off that line. We're going to watch the same thing here as we do the takeaway on the right side of the screen. And again, driving that, not as easy to see here because it's a down the line view, but we're driving that weight into the right ankle. Not a lot of movement from the hips here. Notice how the hips are only moving a few degrees, and that'll happen naturally when you just feel like you put a little pressure on the right ankle. So I don't want to hold a lot of hip turns starting out. That can get the legs flying around, and you know, sometimes people see their knee kind of popping out. That's a result of doing a little bit too much with the takeaway. Now the next piece I want to talk about, move number two that we're going to do in the takeaway, is if we have our spine, let's go ahead and draw our spine on both videos. Now my next key focus is going to be feeling like I turn my right shoulder back toward my spine or behind my body. So if that's my spine on the screen on the right, I'm going to feel like I'm pulling my shoulder back this way, or on the left, sorry. This is my screen on the right. I'm going to feel like I'm pulling my shoulder back there toward my spine that direction. So I'm pulling my right shoulder behind my body. And there's not a lot going on other than this with the hands and arms. So if I do this correctly, notice what a big shoulder turn Tiger's made here. A really good motion with his body, and you can see he's got about 45 degrees of shoulder turn. Same thing on the screen on the right. Let's do that. Take a look at that same motion. Now we see this big shoulder turn and very little arm movement. So if you look at both arms, they're nice and straight and relaxed. Same thing if we look from face on. Nice and straight, relaxed arms. If you look at the wrists are pretty flat. There's maybe 5 or 10 degrees cupping in both wrists. So they're really very neutral. There's not a lot of wrist set at all. And that's allowing him to get this really wide takeaway. So you can focus on each of these moves individually, or you can focus just on two very simple moves, putting a little bit of pressure into your right ankle and then turning this right shoulder behind your body, and that's going to allow the other things to happen a little bit more natural. So one of the most common things that I see that I want you to be aware of is taking the club inside. And if I get this right wrist to bend, so instead of having it, you know, pretty neutral and flat here, if I get that to bend, now I'm going to start pulling this club back to the inside. My right arm is going to tend to bend, and I've just got too many moving parts going on here. So keep those arms nice and straight, relaxed, very little wrist set, and just think about turning that right shoulder back. And a lot of those little small pieces are going to take care of themselves and get started off in the right way. So this is just a fantastic takeaway being demonstrated by Tiger here, and one of the reasons he's very consistent with his golf swing. Let's go ahead and take a look at it from one more angle. Okay, so here we are from the rear view, and we're going to notice a lot of the things that we talked about in the first video. Nice axis tilt here. And then if we watch as he makes that shift to the right, you can see that he's getting a little bit of weight on his right side, and you can see his left leg is starting to bend a little bit as a result of it. And then that right shoulder is just turning back. So if this is the spine, here's that right shoulder, and it's turning back toward the spine. So this is a little bit easier to see in this angle here. So here's address, taking that right shoulder blade and turning it back toward the spine, and now you can see exactly what I'm talking about there. So not a lot of movement from the body. This isn't the most still camera angle. And then the same thing here, we're going to be driving some weight into that right ankle, And again, you can see there's not a lot of moving parts as far as that goes either. So this is really efficient way to do a takeaway, and that helps him to be more efficient throughout his entire golf swing. Now, one of the other things I wanted to talk about with the premium Rotary Swing site, let's imagine that I'm on this site and I'm watching the right shoulder blade glide video as I have pulled up here, but I'm still having trouble with my takeaway. I keep on dragging that club back to the inside and I just can't stop. Well, one of the great things about the RotarySwing website is that you can post any of your questions here below, and one of our certified instructors is going to take care of that. So just as we see a member here, he's posted his question, and then below a certified Rotary Swing instructor has answered that question, and he can continue to answer more questions to help clarify that issue, to help him to further learn this motion easier and a little bit faster. So that's one of the cool things about the RotarySwing website, is we really have a community of instructors and students that are all working together toward a common goal, and it's a lot of fun. It almost gets to be like a big family. So this may be something that you guys would like as a benefit of the premium membership. You just unlimited questions, you can ask as many as you want to, and an instructor's always there to help you. All right, so what I'm going to do for you guys now is I'm going to attach a preview of a premium video from the website. If you'd like to see this entire video, go ahead and click the link in the bottom right hand side of your screen or in the description if you're on a mobile device. When you sign up for your free membership, you'll be able to watch that entire video for free. Plus you get about 4 hours of bonus instruction. So I really look forward to working with you guys much more in the future. And submit those questions like this video. If you'd like anything answered, go ahead and submit it below, and I'll try to get to as many of those as I can. Don't always have time to get to all of them, but I really look forward to hearing from you guys much more in the future. Good luck with your golf game, and I'll see you soon.
One of the key components of the rotary swing is to rotate staying centered around your spine. And one of the ways that we've talked about doing that, the primary way, is using that right shoulder blade glide for right-handed golfers, moving down and in towards the spine. And a lot of people have misunderstood it. And so I'm going to explain exactly what's happening and why we do things that way. It's very, very simple. One, if you look at the muscles that you have in your body to rotate around your spine, so imagine my left arm is my spine here. Your shoulder blades sit on either side of your spine.